Sales, 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 sales. Oh, and sales. Make sure you're in sales. What's good, everybody? My name is Anthony. I work for a construction company. I'm in sales, and I was just thinking about how I had a pretty good year this last year, and I want to share with people how they can make six figures working a normal job. So I wrote some stuff down. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But basically, I want to give you guys a step-by-step guide on how to make six figures, or at least how to even get started looking for jobs like that, and how you can be able to make six figures in 2025. So without a further ado, let's go ahead and get started. But if you want to, if you're tired of the day to day, if you're tired of not making money, if you're tired of the same old, if you are tired of being broke, if you're tired of not, just not being where you want to be at, I would keep watching this video because there's going to be a lot of value added in a path on how to make more money and how to change your life. Because that's what I did. I'm just talking about my story. And I've been able to help other people as far as like work and stuff like that, help them achieve some of their goals that they want to accomplish. So this is how I made six figures working a regular, honest job, right? But so I was getting a call from an installer, so I had to cut that. But not everybody will make it professionally in sports, right? Not everybody will make it. That's just the reality of it. Not everybody wants to go to school, and there is still a path for people who don't want to go to school, who aren't maybe not gifted athletically or whatever, or just stop playing athletics like me, right? And they still want to be something or make something of themselves. You don't have to work a dead-end job. You can make money. You're still gonna have to work. You have to work your butt off, just like a professional athlete has to do, and just like somebody who goes to school for 4 years and not make a dollar from their career choice, right? You're gonna have to work, but there is a path for you. So let's get into it. So there's a few things that I learned, but at the end of this, again, you will know exactly how I did it, and maybe it's the path that works for you. I don't know, but we'll see. The first thing that I did to start this path was before I even started applying for jobs. I don't know if you guys know that big thing called COVID, right? The pandemic back in 2020. That was part of this life-changing, my life starting to change. I think everybody's life started to change, mine and for the better. We had a lot of free time, right? I was working at In-N-Out and Walmart. So I was there for already a year, I believe, and I was working 18-hour days some days, 20-hour days some days, 16-hour days. I was just working. I would go from one to the other. And the biggest thing there was I never have been scared of working. I will work. As long as I know that, I'm doing it for something that I want to pursue, I don't care what it takes. I will do it. So that's the first thing in your mind. You have to be able to work. That is having a work habit and a work ethic, I should say. It is the first thing. You have to be able to know, like, if it takes me working, 10 hours a day, whatever, 7 days a week, I'm willing to do it. 15 hours a day, like me, I don't care. Now, I don't work that much anymore. I don't have to. I do some days, but not every single day. But the fact of the matter is, if I have to, though, I absolutely will, to get the goal that I want to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, it's the goal that you want to accomplish, right? So for you, not knowing exactly what you want to do, but maybe want to make more money, if it requires you, instead of working 40 hours a week, working 60 hours a week, but now you're making six figures instead of $40,000, is that not worth it? It's up to you to decide, right? For me, it was worth it. So I was working a ton, and I was noticing the people around me. This is when I started reading books. I started reading like How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Magic of Thinking Big, As a Man Thinketh, right? Those are just like small books that I started to read, and I started to just think. The Compound Effect was a huge book that really changed my perspective. And so those books I started to read. I'm like, man, like, nothing against the people I'm working with, but these people are okay. They're celebrating 20 years at Walmart, 15 years at Walmart, 25 years, things like that. They're getting these little plaques and things like that. And I'm like, man, that's not going to be me. That's not me at all. I can elevate from here, because there I was already moving up pretty quickly because I work hard. You know what I mean? And so I started reading books, and I started to just stimulate my mind, and I'm like, all right, I'm understanding these things. I'm starting to figure out how the world works a little bit, how to talk to people, things like that. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? I need something more, right? I love working at In-N-Out. It was fun. I had friends, but I'm not there for friends. I'm there to make money, and I'm making $13 an hour. It's not much, you know what I mean? At Walmart, I was making like $18 an hour. And so I was like, like, that's not, it's cool. It's decent for a 19 or 20-year-old, but it's not great. So I was starting to think, I'm like, I'm better than this. I'm better than this. I'm better than this. And so at that time, I was a part of a multi-level marketing thing where I would have to go out and recruit people. And so I was talking to a lot of people as well. I was like talking, to 2 to 3 people a day, just saying hello, how are you? I like your car, I like your house, whatever. Like, just walking, talking, getting to know people based off of just me giving a compliment and just sparking a conversation. So I was getting really comfortable with talking to people. Now I will say that is very, very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Not everybody wants to do that. I don't say everybody's going to do it, but if you want to get out your comfort zone, I would go and do that. Because it allows you to just realize that everybody is human. We're all humans. And honestly, nobody's better than anybody. Some people just work harder and they've been in it longer. And that's really what it is. And so, you just meet people. And I got to meet a lot of people, like with nice cars and nice places, and ask them what they did and how they got there and things like that. And quite a bit of people that I knew that were pretty successful were in sales. And so, I was like, okay. Maybe that's where I want to be, because you got the G-Wagon or you got the really nice Mercedes. Okay, maybe I want to do sales, because I've always wanted to be in business, but maybe I need to get into sales now so I can get better at business. And these are just like little seeds that were planted in my head, right? So this is 2020. And then the end of 2020 comes. I had an altercation at Walmart. And anyway, I was suspended on paid leave. During that time, again, I've been reading, did a full year of that, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna apply for a sales job. And I applied for one, and it was like some recruiting type of job that you make commission on as you got new businesses. And they told me no. They said, you don't have any experience. We need somebody with experience. I told them, hey, look, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm willing to learn. I'm a fast learner. I'm like, just give me a shot, and I promise I will be your best worker. I said, no. Need experience, like most jobs will say, which is crazy to me, because I can get the experience by working. Just teach me, right? Now you can form me and mold me into the worker that you want, right? Because I don't know. And I have the drive. And so they said no to me, and that's the first and only interview that I've ever done for anything and not gotten it. First and only. So it hurt a little bit. It really hurt. Like it right in the chest. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep applying, right? Whatever. The next one was the company I work out currently, right? And I won't disclose that right now. That's not really important. But I went in there, and it was a bunch of people just like me. And I'm not talking to skin color at all. I'm talking like young, wearing hoodies, like not all sales professional, right? I'm coming in there, I got the button up on, the slacks on, the dress shoes or whatever I had on that I could afford at that time. And these people are just like me. I'm like, why they working? Like, they just working? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just, okay, what am I applying for, really? They were cool though, they're cool people. And then when you talk to them, their outward appearance might not have looked like anything, but their intellectual ability and the way they communicated and the way they talked to you, you could tell that they were on a different level. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, I like the idea of how this works. They explained to me the job. and how it works. This is in-home sales. So I'll break that down in a second. But in-home sales, I'm like, all right, bet. Sounds good. I'm a little hesitant because it was commission only. Disclaimer, if you are no experience in sales, you're probably going to get a commission only job because nobody's going to pay you a base salary if they don't even know if you're going to even last. So it's typically commission only. I was very hesitant on that. I will say this. I knew I could work, and I knew that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. So I took a chance on myself. If you're in that same position and it won't hurt you financially, you have some money put away, things like that, take that chance. And if you fail, you've learned, right? It's okay to fail. But for me, I knew I was going to succeed because I was going to do whatever it took to succeed. So anyway, that was first point was to read. The second point was to start talking to people more. The third point, it was also to entry-level jobs, right? Just entry-level sales jobs. And so touching on that again, there's different types of sales. There's B2B sales and B2C sales. So B2B is business to business. B2C is business to consumer or business to customer. And so I was in B2C because I'm in in-home sales. So we're a business selling construction products to a direct consumer, a homeowner, right? There's also cold calling, door knocking. There's like Zoom calls. You can do like Zoom sales. You just got to figure out what you're comfortable with. I like to be in person with people. I love the interaction. I love being with people. You can read people a lot better than you can on a Zoom call or a video, right? So figure out what you want, but I chose in-home sales, right? So the next step is the interview. So as far as interviews go, at this time I didn't know, so this is going to be good for you because I hire, and so the things I'm looking for, there's a couple things. The first thing is talking about growth. When you're in sales, you got to understand this. You are paid what value you add. You're not paid on a dollar amount per hour. So the more value that you add, the more money that you make. So you can go from making $20 an hour to making $2,000 in 2 hours, right? You can make $5,000 in 3 hours. Like, these are things that I've done and that you can do as well, but you have to understand that. And so when you're talking about growth, you're talking about growing yourself, talking about being able to expand and things like that. And also in leadership and being able to not just do it for yourself, but for other people. That's very attractive to somebody interviewing you. So talk about growth. The other thing is, if you play sports, talk about sports, because sports are, people who play sports have the disciplines typically. I play sports, right? A lot of people have played sports. You are on a team, but you are individual. The individual has to perform, right? If you're playing football, if you're a corner, you have to be able to be on that island by yourself and have no help and still do your job, right? If you are wrestling, right, your collective, the collective is you get points per match. But that match, nobody is helping you win. You have to win on your own, right? Same thing in sales. You have to be able to be on a team, right? You have coworkers. We're working towards a similar goal. But the big thing is you have to yourself go out and perform, because if they perform and you don't perform, you don't make money because they performed. You have to perform so that you make money. And I love that because I took the control back into my hands. If I go out and work hard, I make money. If they don't go out and work hard, I can take their money, right? Not in a bad way, but like if they're not willing to work, I'm gonna go work and I'm gonna make it, right? And so you have to understand that as well. Those are another things that you have to, again, you have to talk about that in your interview. As far as also talk about reading, talk about how you developed yourself, how you're working on your personal development, because that's huge in sales. Sales is not easy and it's going to be hard, and you have to have character and you have to be able to withstand the days that are tough. Because as great as there's days where you make $20,000 in a month, in months where you make $20,000, there's also months where you make $2,000. And for some people, $2,000 in a month is great. That is not okay for me. It sucks. So you have to have the mental fortitude. So growth, reading books, developing yourself, talk about those things, right? And then also the ability to communicate. You got to be able to communicate with people, right? So how I went out and talked to people, blah, blah, blah. I can communicate with somebody because, again, I see them as just a human, right? And I think another one, just a bonus one, if you're somebody who wants to help people, sales is the way. And I will say sales has a bad rap sometimes because there are people out there who are not willing to help. They're just trying to sell and make a commission. I don't roll that way. I have a very high moral compass, and I believe in helping people, and I only want to help people who need help. I don't believe in helping people who don't need help or trying to act like they need help and selling them something that helps me and doesn't really help them. So there are people out there like that in sales, and they give us a bad rap. But for me, I want to make sure and know in my whole heart that they need my help. And if they have a problem, my solution solves their problem. If that's not the case, then I can't help you. And it's okay. I won't make no money. That's okay. But for me, that's how I do business. That's how we teach our guys to do business, because that's important. That is vitally important for your moral compass, your conscience, your mind, right? And so number 5, so you get the job, right? Every career is going to be different. So like I said, there's in-home sales, there's door knocking, there's Zoom calls, there's different things. You need to know that there are different ways that you can do this, but in all those ways, you need to, it doesn't matter what it is, dive right in. Go, just go. You have to go right in. The biggest thing with people is they start these jobs and they're timid and they're scared. They don't want to fail. They don't want to look bad. Look terrible. I'm telling you right now, look terrible. Look stupid. Put yourself out there and just look completely dumb. Fall face first. Volunteer for everything. I'm willing to do this. I'll try it. I'll figure it out. Because that's what I did, right? And the thing is, you look dumb. You look very dumb until you don't. You look stupid until you don't, right? People don't believe in you. They're like, oh man, this dude's not going to last. This dude's not going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. And you keep failing and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And then you have your first 10K month, right? So you have to just dive right in. Do not be timid. Do not be scared. It's okay to fail. It's okay. Who cares if somebody's judging you? Who cares? Fail, fail, fail. I can't stress that enough. You have to fail, especially in sales, right? In sales, we say, or think about baseball. Somebody who bats a 300, they are a Hall of Famer. They are legendary. They are legendary if you bat a 300. So, okay, 7 times out of 10, they are walking back. They struck out. They are walking back, right, from home plate. Same thing in sales. If you close at 30%, 40%, 50%, things like that, right? 50%, that means 5. So half the time you're doing great, and half the time you're doing terrible. You are a legendary salesperson. 50, 60%, there's some people out there like that. I'll be honest, I'm not 50, 60% sales guy. I'm 30%, right? But still batting at 30% is still unheard of typically, right? Most companies are at, 10, 20%. That's pretty standard. 20% is pretty normal. 30% is like, okay, this guy actually is pretty good at what he does, right? 40% is like, if you can sustain that over a year, you're making a lot of money. 50%, you're probably starting your own company or something. And 60%, you're a legend, So understanding that, like, it's okay to fail and that you're expected to. Like, that's a part of the job. So just dive right in and latch yourself on to people who are succeeding. If you see somebody in the office succeeding, do not go with them and just let them get you paid. There's a term that we call in our business. So like going with them and piggybacking off of them and, they get paid so that you get paid. No, maybe at first you'll learn a little bit. They pride themselves. At our company, we pride ourselves on getting our new guys paid. But you want to go in and you want to learn. It's not necessarily about the money. It's about the knowledge and the skill set that they have that you need so that you can go out and do it yourself. And the biggest thing is, do not be somebody else. Do not mimic them. Do not imitate them. You take the information that you're getting from them and then you decipher it and then you make it your own. That's how you do it. You have to make it your own stuff, your own. Because when you do that, you feel comfortable. You don't feel like a robot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our new guys, they were just robots, bro. Weird. Like everybody does it. Like you're just like spitting information that somebody else says. Don't even know why you're saying it. You don't understand the skill set behind it, the way they say it. It's not just what they say, it's how they say it, right? Their tonality. Those types of things have to be learned and taught, and you have to dive in and do it to be able to have examples to talk to somebody about so that you can grow and get better. How you messed up, why you messed up, right? And so those are the biggest things as far as when you get the job, right? Now, from there, number 6, be a sponge, right? You have to just soak up all the knowledge, all the information, go into extra training. So like for me and my job, we work based off of appointments. So I only work, we have time slots 10, 2, and 6. And sometimes there's 4s or whatever. When I'm not working, if I'm not working 10, 2, and 6, I have just a 10 and a 2. Well, from 2 to 6, you gotta be studying, you gotta be trying, you gotta be practicing, constantly practicing, especially as a new person. You wanna show that you have work ethic. You wanna have work ethic, not just show it, have it. Because it's gonna allow you to get better, allow you to be better. And it's gonna allow you to speed up your learning curve, okay? Now, from there, the next part is when it starts to get really, this is how we're gonna get you there, right?